Subscribe to this channel by clicking on the subscribe button and make sure to click on the bell icon for new videos. Hello Team Komal. Today's video is going to be a Komal Talks because we haven't done one in a while and I have a lot of things to say. Recently there was an article on Huffington Post and it was shared a couple of places. Instagram influencers are all starting to look the same. Here's why. Essentially throughout the article, they talk about how beauty has now become homogenized. How before there were different standards of beauty for different places, but because of globalization as well as the digital age, it has become pretty much the same. But it has actually been, I think, about a year or so of me thinking pretty much the same thing that they've written in the article. If you guys want to see the article, I will leave a link up here, or you can go down below in the description box and you can see the article there. After I read the article, I actually saw that even Sherry, I don't know if she tweeted about it or where exactly I saw it, but I saw it somewhere on her timeline. So I felt like at least somebody else also feels the same. I get a lot of people asking me, how do you start being a blogger? How do you start being an influencer? And how do you start making money? Money being one of, well, people generally ask about the money, the first thing, but you know what I mean. So I thought, why not do this video, talk about it, because it kind of helps put things in perspective for people who are new bloggers or people that want to be influencers. I like to think of myself as a YouTube dinosaur. I have been an influencer since I think like 2009 or 2011. It has been a very long time. So I have quite a lot of experience and quite a lot of views about the stuff that's happening right now, because I've seen it in sort of like a chain of events. So I feel like it's, you know, it's a good thing to talk about it. The responsibilities, the role, as well as the whole structure of being an influencer, I think came about 2 or 3 years ago. Before this, there wasn't really any influencer talk as such. It was just bloggers, YouTubers, and other people that have a lot of following on Instagram. Now, as every single industry is, it starts off with something very like artisanal and, you know, like I'm gonna do it because I love it and all the stuff, but it ends up becoming a source of income for a lot of people, which is not a bad thing. It's actually a very, very good thing. So from blogging, it went to influencing. I don't know if you guys know how exactly money is made in blogging, but this is how you do it. Brands contract influencers, influencers work with brands, influencers earn the money from the brand. Like any other commercialized system, influencing in general is essentially a demand and supply sort of a thing. So everything was fine up until then. Bloggers had a lot of gumption and everybody had their viewpoints and everything was in place and it was nice and blah, 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 blah. The problem happened when the demand and the supply kind of went into flux. And there was a lot of new bloggers that came up, which is great because everybody's viewpoint is great. The more voices you have, the more opinions you have, the better when it comes to the internet, as well as, you know, opinions of people on products, on things, just everything is wow, amazing, okay? Brands in general always will want to work with people that mirror their image or mirror the sentiment that their brand has. Brands have a lot of options in terms of influencers and they can pick and choose whoever they want to work with. What that tells other or new bloggers is that they have to be in a specific category to be able to be workable. Now, human mentality is as such that you want to follow what is happening. You want to follow somebody that does well because you feel like mentally if you do the same thing, you will be more successful as compared to if you were just to take risks. What ends up happening right now is that everybody starts to do the same thing in a similar fashion, and then that becomes a trend and everybody just keeps on doing it, keeps on doing it, keeps on doing it up until that one person takes a chance and changes stuff, and then everybody keeps on following it because it's safe. And it's just like this really annoying circle for people like me and people that want to view originality. I don't really blame bloggers, I don't blame influencers for wanting to keep up with the sort of trend, because they feel like they're liable for it, and they also feel like, what if I don't do this, and then I'll be out of either the PR list, I'll be out of the whole shebang. That being said, there is definitely a very strong focus on the way you look in influencing, at least in India. I actually didn't really think of it before, because I thought it's not such a big deal, aisa kuch nahi hota, like people are just like making stuff up, it's not like that. But it actually it genuinely happened to me on my face. I know a lot of people would assume that I'm trying to say that those people get it easy, but that's not what I'm trying to say. People that look a particular way that brands want to work with, they also have to work super hard. But they do have an upper hand because brands generally want to work with them. So now you have all these new influencers that basically want to make a mark, and in their head, the only way they're going to do it is by looking a certain way. At the end of the day, they're basically trying to look exactly like the best versions of themselves. Sadly, everybody just ends up looking the same. Every blogger you see is going to be talking about lip injections. Every single blogger you see has a very high arched eyebrow, full lips. They look completely perfect, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just that it's really sad that newer influencers feel like that's the only way they're gonna make it. Heck, a lot of people ask me why my eyebrows are so messed up, and I'm like, they're not really messed up. My eyebrows have been pretty much the same since the time that I started doing YouTube videos. So my eyebrows haven't changed. The standard of what a good eyebrow should be like has changed. And I get so many comments by people asking me, why exactly don't I do my eyebrows? And I'm like, my eyebrows are completely done. This is how I do my eyebrows. So it's a crazy pressure. And if people have the audacity to actually point that out on somebody like me, who is a YouTube dinosaur, I don't have crazy amounts of following, but the sort of following that I have is very genuine and it's very organic. So what ends up happening is that if people can say that to me, in my mind, I can only imagine what the younger influencers are going through, because in their mind, they have to look perfect. They have to have their eyebrows snatched. They have to have their lips completely full. They have to have, like bone structure of just the gods. Your perspective is what makes you an influencer. What you think about things, what your experience has been, is what makes you an influencer. Saying the same thing as everybody else does not make you an influencer. I mean, there have been times where you have all the bloggers speaking nicely about one product. It's not necessary that everybody's lying. It could be that everybody has used it and everybody loves it. But at the same time, because of all of this bull poo-poo that's happening, nobody's going to end up trusting bloggers, which is it's quite sad, because that's exactly what we started for. So yeah, at the end of the day, I feel super bad for people that want to start being influencers, because people are scared to say what they want to. People don't really want to acknowledge things that make them uncomfortable. And I personally don't really blame them. But at the same time, I think there should be some people that, just don't care and just do what they think is right, because you need that. If you have perspective, if you have a specific narrative, and if you have the gumption to say what you want to, I think people will love you more. Come on, you're getting work because you have influence. If you didn't have any influence at all, if you didn't have any viewers, brands wouldn't want to work with you. So the most important thing is actually the viewers. If you keep them in the loop, if you're honest, and if you're very genuine about your work, I'm pretty sure the brand work is gonna come, and it's gonna come very easily. So if you are a new budding influencer, please stick to your guns. Please make sure that you have perspective. Don't be bothered and scared by other people. Trends are followed, but they're also started. So try to start a new trend, or try to, have your own way of doing things, because that's the most important. There's so many people making so much content, and if all of the content is the same, people will get bored and then they're gonna look for that one person that's doing different content, and you might be that person. Let me know what you guys think about this. That's it. I hope you guys like this video, and if you didn't subscribe by clicking on, or if there's something that you want me to talk about, definitely leave it in the comment section. I would love to do it. And yeah, bye.